Well, if you guys are big fans of the Yoshi wrestling scene, you're in luck. You're always on the right channel. So today we're just going to be doing, of course, two reviews from that. The first one is with Sendai Girls in Sado Island, but not only features talent from Sendai Girls, but also features talent from their counterparts, Marvelous, which is a very interesting to see. As you know, we've been seeing talent from Marvelous appearing in Sendai Girls appearing in Marvelous, so that's pretty much what we're going to see. And then, of course, Marvelous had a produced show by Magenta for Senka's 19th birthday. Yes, Senka Akatsuki teams up with the ace of Marvelous, Takumi Iroha, to take on Yurika Oka and Shin Sakura Iroda, dressed up like, of course, Miyu Momono, who's out of action due to an injury. So that's going to be fun. But however, the main event features Magenta themselves, Maria and Riko Kawahara, taking on La Frescas de Egoístas, Makoto, and Benny. As you all know, those ladies are the toughest, but this will put, of course, Magenta through the test. And then, of course, as always, we wrap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Nike Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been said, so let's hit the highway. Let's begin, of course, with Sendai Girls. Okie dokie, so let's begin with Sendai Girls at Sado Island, and they were at the Aikawa Gymnasium. This took place on the 23rd of March. Now, what I did not realize about this event, not only it features Sendai Girls' talent, but also we saw some of the girls from Marvelous as well. So those who know this about the history between both founders, between Meiko Satomura and Shigusa Nagayo, they used to be part of a promotion that is no longer, you know, how do I say, in operations. I forgot the name of it. I think it's Gaia, something like that. So that kind of explains it. However, in the opening of the event, we did see both founders, Meiko Satomura and Shikusa Nagayo being there accepted, a bouquet of flowers and all that. So I have no idea what they were talking about, since, of course, both Marvelous and Sendai Girls do not have English commentators, so that would explain it. But let's get to it with the first match. Our first match, we have, of course, Yuna taking on Marvelous's very own Riko Kawahara. So basically, it's a Marvelous versus Sendai Girls type of match. Well, throughout the entire match, well, almost part of it. But anyway, I wasn't. I kind of figured this match was going to go in favor to Riko Kawahara for obvious reason. Yuna does not have like the longevity of an experience like, of course, her peers. She's been wrestling maybe for almost 2 years, but when it comes to Riko Kawahara, she has more experience, so that kind of plays it out in a bit. But it was, of course, Riko Kawahara with a springboard moonsault, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have, of course, Manami taking on Dash Izako. Now, this is not a Marvelous versus Sendai Girls match, in case anybody asks. But what's interesting is, of course, Manami, she's the type of person who gets all her energy to push on into her matches. But however, when it comes to Dash Izako, you want to steer clear from her because she is dubbed as the Queen of Hardcore. I mean, yes, she uses all kinds of plunder like tables, ladders, trash cans, whatever she gets her hands on to soften her opponents up. Now, she wasn't that extreme in this match, but you can tell that, of course, Shizako will do whatever it takes to punish her, but not in a way where she's making a statement, more to understand that she is not in her level just yet. And of course, as always, Dash Shizako picked up the win when she applied a double foot stomp, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have Yurika Oka and Takumi Iroha teaming up for the first time. They take on, of course, Team 200 Kilogram. We're talking about you, um, Big Hash herself, Shihiro Hashimoto. Now, of course, you probably can guess, okay, 200 kilograms most likely could win because they are the strongest. But they're dealing with one person in the ring who's been dubbed as the ace of Marvelous. We're talking about Takumi. So you probably can say she could definitely try to pick up the win. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way because Yurika Oka ended up on the wrong side of course, dealing with Big Cash herself. Now, of course, I give Oka a lot of credit that she did whatever humanly possible to put down Big Hash herself, but it was not enough until she used a jumping lariat onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it was over, just like that. Now, our main event, we have, of course, Maria teaming up with the legend herself, Aja Kong, or as Jim Ross would say back in the first AEW Double or Nothing, she's the kind of woman you don't see making biscuits. They take on, of course, Mika Iwata and the final boss, Miko Satomura. So it's interesting to see the course teacher and student teaming up. And it's, of course, natural because, of course, this is something you probably would expect. But the real question is, you ask yourselves, can Maria and Aja Kong can coexist? Yes, because A, there is a common factor here. Aja Kong is the much bigger threat in this match. To obvious those who've seen her, she is bigger and stronger, and not to mention she does not hesitate to use the trash can, which of course it would be funny. But unfortunately, this match ended with Meiko Satomura applying a Death Valley driver onto Maria, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then, of course, we did see a post-match promo with Satomura. I'm sure that she's telling her fans of her update on her road to retirement. That's going to happen, of course, next month. So, as you know, the clock is ticking, so we're almost up with that. So we'll see what happens until then. But right now, we are officially done with Sendai Girls and move on, of course, with Marvelous. Okay, Marvelous Magenta produced Senka's 19th birthday. So yeah, Tag Team Magenta, Maria and Riko Kawahara produced the show, but also to celebrate Senka Akatsuki's birthday. So she turns 19. So that's a pretty good thing to hear. So we'll get to that in a bit about them. Now, our opening match, we have Eihausen taking on Ryu Mizunami. Now, of course, many of you may know this. Eihausen has recently gone into an attitude adjustment where she feels like she's not proceeding even further. And before the bell even rung, she immediately made a beeline to Ryu Mizunami and attacked her. And the match proceeded on. But however, Ryu Mizunami, being professional as she is, she tries to make her, how to say, see, well, you made a mistake attacking me, and that's exactly what she did when she applied a driver onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have, of course, our only males exhibition match, Leo Isaka taking on Kaji Tomato. No, I don't even know who Kaji Tomato is. I never seen him before. But of course, Leo being the only male member of the Marvelous roster, well, you probably can guess since he is the male star, the only one in Marvelous, he probably would have picked the win. No, somehow he was countered by Tomato when he applied a inside cradle, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Excuse me. Our next match, we have uh, Sora Ayame teaming up with, of course, Takumi Roha to take on, of course, Yurika Oka and Shin Sakura Iroda. Now, what's funny is, as you all know, uh, Oka's tag team partner Miyamono is out of action due to an injury she had recently in a double tag team championship match with both Oz Academy and Marvelous. Well, and Sendai Girls, that kind of put it up for her, but Shin Hiroda Sakura Hiroda actually dressed up just like Miyu Momono, but you know her tricks. She always used comedy in her matches, and that's exactly what she tried. Um, but she was able to pin Sora Ayame, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, Miyu Momono showed up to congratulate both Oka and, of course, Hiroda to stepping in for her, but which is good. However, in the moment from there, Miyu Momono was in the ring doing a little quiz game show. So I don't know what the quiz was about, but seems fun, and she had a great time. So let's move on to the next match. Our next match, we have the Muscle Sisters, Zones from Evolution and Chanyota from PP Tokyo, once again teaming up. They take on Senka Akatsuki and, of course, Isuki Aoki. So that was going to be a very interesting matchup. However, you know how this was going to roll up because we all know Chanyota and Zones are a very good cohesion team. We've seen them how they teamed up on various occasions. So that plays out a good factor. But however, Zone was able to pick up the win when she applied a big lariat onto Akatsuki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. But however, during the post match, it seems Akatsuki couldn't take that too kindly, so she basically knee chopped Zones, and just like that, it was over. But of course, Aoki tried to tell her to calm down. I know you lost, so chill. So basically, that's what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if she demands a match against her. That's something we'd definitely see. Now, our main event, we have, of course, La Fresas de Egoístas, consisting of Makoto and Veni, taking on Magenta's Maria and Riko Kawahara. Now, of course, recently, as you all know, Magenta has been, of course, trying to get themselves back in the tag team competition for quite some time. But however, they have to deal with one of the toughest tag teams. We're talking about Makoto and Veni. During, of course, the opening of the bell before their match started, they attacked them immediately to send a message. But of course, they had to suffer through a lot of brutality when it comes to Veni. Veni is a very bit of a vicious wrestler who will do whatever it takes to win. However, it was, of course, Maria that picked up the win on Makoto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But during the post-match, of course, Magenta had some things to say to Vinny and Makoto. I think, in my opinion, that this match was exactly what they needed to push themselves back into the tag team title contingency. And it seems like it worked. And of course, called out Ryu Mizunami, which is no secret. Those who know this, Ryu Mizunami and Sonoko Kato, who both are a tag team in Oz Academy, are the current AEW Tag Team Champions. So Magenta are asking for title shots. So we may see that soon enough. So I think that's pretty much it with Marvelous. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news update. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. As always, let's begin, of course, with upcoming events with the promotions. Let's start with GCW. Now, on the 30th in St. Louis, they just announced that we're going to have a bit of a rematch from maybe a year or two ago. We're talking about Masha Slamovich versus Blake Christian. If you guys remember, Blake Christian was the one who dethroned her for the GCW World Title, and of course, Blake Christian got away with it because he thought he deserved it even more. But however, Masha never got her payback for that particular match, and now she gets another opportunity for that. So we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we had the Philly special on the 6th of April in Philadelphia. Zeta Steel from WWID takes on Ashley Voss. Then, of course, the Las Vegas show, Blood Sports on April 17th. We have a bit of an interesting match. According to what Josh Barnett said, these guys were destined to fight each other forever. We're talking about the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne and, of course, Timothy Thatcher. So that's going to be crazy. And then finally, their LA show on May 3rd. We have crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. We have a very interesting, well, they started out as rivals and then became tag team, and now they're fighting each other one last time. We're talking about Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita, so that's going to be really fun to watch. Now for our West Coast Pro updates here. We have the Vegas Vacation. As you all know, they will be in Las Vegas as well, much like GCW. A match has been announced for a four-way. We have, of course, Jason Xavier versus Evan Cleany versus Danny Orion versus Matt Brannigan. And then, of course, near the end of May, they'll be doing the When the City Go Down in the Lights or something like that. They announced two matches. We have Jay Maney versus Becca, then Miko Alana taking on Maggie Lee. Now, as you all know, Tokyo Pro Wrestling will be in Las Vegas on that particular day, on the 18th of April during that WrestleMania week. They just announced Vixen makes her return to TJPW. She has wrestled there before, so it's great to hear that she's returning. Now, we do have, of course, the GCW versus TJPW versus DDT. This will take place on the 19th of April. We have Masha Slamovich teaming up with the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita. They take on Miyu Yamashita and Shinya Aoki. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, you may have heard the rumors now that MLW will team up with CML in Arena Mexico on May 2nd. According to Cesar Duran, that they're not just going to make history, they're going to rewrite it. So that's going to be interesting to hear. As you know, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling will continue more with their shows coming up on May 10th for Northern Rising. They just announced, it's now 100% confirmed that Kylie Ray will be there. As you know, she'll be facing against Giselle Shaw for whoever's going to be the Maple Leaf Canadian Women's Champion. So that's going to be fun. Then, of course, we have the Crockett Cup taking place on 17th of May in Philadelphia with NWA. They just announced the first entry to participate, and is the current tag team champions Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. And House of Glory has announced that they're making their official debut. Other than, of course, since we've been hearing that they'll be making appearances in Chicago, they'll be heading south to Texas on the 11th of July. So no announcements have been made for that, but that's going to be interesting to hear. Now to some developments. Now, there's been talks about recently about having possibly induct Ken Shamrock into the WWE Hall of Fame. Those who know this, he's already in the Hall of Fame with both UFC and TNA. So anything's a possibility. So we just gotta wait and see what happens. Brian Cage, as you know, apparently he was injured during a independent show on March 30th against Chris Masters, the Masterpiece. So he's going to be out of action. However, there was plans that he, along with Murder Hawk Lance Archer, were going to pursue for the AEW World Tag Team belts, but now it's been given to, of course, the Learning Tree, Big Bill, and of course Brian Keith. So that explains a few things. Deonna Purrazzo gave her thoughts about, of course, the women's match in AEW Revolution between Toni Storm and Mariah May, about how she believed they upped the ante on that one. Now, I don't know if you guys would agree with Deonna Purrazzo, but that's exactly what she said. Now, many of you know this. Ethan Page, he has been with AEW and TNA, but recently he just returned back to TNA during TNA tapings. So most likely we'll see there. Now, from my understanding, not to spoil alert, he returns to TNA and hopes to gain the TNA World Title. So that's exactly what he was there for. Now, many of you remember I reported that, of course, uh, Australian Suicide passed away not too long ago, which was a devastating loss in the wrestling world. But his widow, as you know, has revealed, uh, posted out a photo of their last time as a family with, of course, him, her, and their child. However, she did mention that by request of the family and herself, they're requesting for another autopsy. Now, I don't know what is going on, but she did reveal that there'll be more to talk about regarding about Australian suicide. So we'll see where that goes. Now, many of you may have heard about something. We do have a double champion in NXT, but however, apparently is being overlooked over Mandy Rose, who in fact was declared as a double champion herself in NXT. Let me pull up what she had to say about that. Okay, so this is what she said. It's funny to me that people that never held a championship before are the first to sit there and argue about what counts as a double champion. Listen, you all can argue semantics all you want, but I still held two titles at the same time. Yes, unified them, thanks to you. Call it if you want. Who cares? Double champion, Mandy, two belts, undisputed badass, whatever. I still doesn't take away the fact that I did it. So you all, so you all can't take the fact checking over there. I just still keep winning. Have a great day. So it seems like people are overlooking that fact, and I think some people are saying, "Who cares? You didn't have it." There's been a great debate about this now. I mean, you got to ask yourself, do you think she is a double champion? Because she never defended the NXT UK Women's Champion. That's championship. That's something we have been aware of. But yeah, so we'll see about that. Now, many of you may have remember I reported about Gail Kim being fired from TNA recently. Well, she just made a statement, and this is what she had to say. Just want to say thank you to the fans, friends, especially my peers, for all the support you have given me over the last few days. I received such an enormous amount of love and really has helped the process change for me. More than anything, I am grateful for all the years and opportunities I was given to help build something I wanted to dream of. The KO division is and always will be my heart, and all the women who were part of it. Thanks to the incredible, hardworking, passionate TNA talent and crew that I have the pleasure of working with. This will not end my passion or love for wrestling. This is not the end of Gail Kim in the world. You don't put in 17 years in one company and stop when you're this passionate. I look forward to sharing my journey, and I am taking some time for myself to prepare what's ahead, looking forward to the future. So it seems that she, right now, at the moment, she's gonna try to decompress now that A weight has been lifted off their shoulder. I mean, she's been working so hard. But of course, many of you are trying to question, will she? Some people are still saying she probably will go with AEW, but of course the WWE looks, nope, she's going back to WWE. But not, I think she might get the same kind of position she might have had with TNA, but we'll see about that. Now, recently, as you know, with Tam Nakano been, you know, removed from Stardom due to that match, apparently, Shinobu Kandori, who had her brief history with her, had something to say. I thought the news about Tam Nakano had really reached me. But if she loses, she'll retire, right? What a waste. If Tam Nakano loses or retires, maybe I'll go and scout her. So I think that there's still some unfinished business between, of course, Kandori and Tam. So hopefully, if Tam does win, maybe she can finish that up. So we'll see what happens, because we know that Kandori she had to say some negative remarks towards Stardom, and Tam was the one defending it. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we are done, and let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we probably will focus a bit more with AEW Collision. We don't know what's going to happen. I haven't decided yet what other events I want to pursue. I may consider doing the recent Wrestling Revolver show, Goated. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. I'm still trying to decide where do we go from there. But as of right now, AEW Collision is the priority. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day.